What up, world? Established Rich coming right back at you. Listen, Gervonta Davis is one of the most talented boxers of our generation. But at some point, talent can't save you from yourself. See, boxing is a sport built on discipline and focus. It's not just about how hard you can punch, but how well you can control yourself. And right now, Tank Davis ain't in control of a damn thing. Not his emotions, not his reputation, not his career. Jake Paul, a YouTube star turned boxer, the same guy the boxing world laughed at, just made the most mature decision in the room. He just walked away from millions. He walked away from the spotlight, from Netflix, from the main event, because he didn't want to stand next to what Gervonta Davis represents right now. I'm not even a big Jake Paul fan, but this right here, this was a grown man decision. This was a businessman saying, nah, I'm not going to give him a platform. And he was right.
So the Tank Davis-Jake Paul fight has officially been canceled by Netflix. And on top of the low ticket sales, it's being reported that Netflix was actually looking for reasons to part ways with Tank Davis, citing that he was allegedly always late and not the easiest to work with and did not want to promote the fight. And it seems to me that the civil lawsuit that was filed against him just days ago could have been the straw that broke the camel's back. So in that lawsuit filed by his former girlfriend, Davis is being accused of battery, aggravated battery, false imprisonment, kidnapping, and infliction of emotional distress. And Jake Paul did not hold back on his thoughts of Tank Davis. This is what he had to say on Twitter. So he called him an actual walking human piece of garbage. He says, quote, working with him is an absolute nightmare. The unprofessionalism, the bizarre request, the showing up hours late to shoots. He then goes on to say, I don't want to give this woman abuser a platform to grow his fans and grow his bank account.
Everything about this Tank Davis situation shows us that undisciplined talent eventually self-destructs. And this ain't the first time, nor is it the second time. We talking about a man who been in and out of courtrooms like they gyms. One minute he's the next Mike Tyson in the ring, the next minute he on TMZ with a new mugshot. And listen, I'm not here to convict nobody. The allegations are still allegations. But when you keep seeing the same pattern, you keep hearing the same stories, at some point you gotta say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And Tank Davis been burning his own house down for years. We ain't talking about a misunderstanding. We talking about a history of disrespect, a history of self-sabotage. When Jake Paul said he didn't want to get this man a platform, he wasn't just being strategic. He was being human. See, this ain't about cancel culture. This is about character culture. You got a guy who been given chance after chance. He's been given money, fame, and respect in a sport that don't hand out mercy. And every single time, he finds a way to throw it all away. And why? Because he thinks he's untouchable. He thinks his talent is his insurance policy. But talent without maturity is a loaded gun. And Tank Davis been walking around with his finger on the trigger. And now he's facing new allegations, assault, battery, threats, the same type of behavior that's followed him his entire career. And Jake Paul, of all people, looked at that and said, I'm good. Think about that. The internet kid, the one boxing purist said would ruin the sport, is the one showing more morality than a multi-million-dollar world champion. That tells you everything you need to know about what boxing is right now. Because here's the truth. Boxing loves the bad guy. It loves drama, arrests, headlines. But at some point, even the bad guy has to grow up. Even the bad guy has to look in the mirror and say, I'm tired of being a problem. The sad part is, I don't think Tank even sees himself as the problem. He thinks everybody else is out to get him. But the reality is, nobody chasing him. He's running into his own walls. And every time he falls, he blames the floor. That's the sign of a man who hasn't grown. Jake Paul, for once, didn't fall for the money. He didn't fall for the promotion, the hype, or the payday. He stood on principle. He said, I don't want to be a part of this. And you know what? I respect that. Because sometimes standing up for what's right can cost you millions. But losing your integrity can cost you everything. And if we keeping it real, Jake Paul earned more respect from the boxing community than he ever has from any fight. And Tank Davis, he lost more than just a payday. He lost a whole lot of faith from people who wanted to see him redeem himself. The people who believed he could turn it around. Now he's looking like a man who can't control his demons. A man who's got power in his fist, but no peace in his soul. And that's what makes this so tragic. Not the cancer fight, but the wasted potential. Tank Davis could have been the face of boxing, but instead he became the headline of another court case. So when Jake Paul says he don't want to work with him again, I believe him. And frankly, I don't blame him. Sometimes you got to know when to walk away from the fire before it burn you too. This ain't about boxing anymore. This is about accountability. You can't keep hurting people and expect the world to keep clapping for you. You can't keep preaching strength and practicing weakness. And until Tank Davis learns that, he'll never be the champion his talent deserves. But hey, that's just my opinion. What's yours? Like, comment, subscribe, Established Rich. I'll be back with another one. Peace.